You're listening to Nostalgia Club, the podcast where we look back on our favorite childhood stories and revisit them as adults. At least one of us hasn't read or watched these series, so we also get a first-timer's opinion. Spoiler alert, we will be discussing storylines and future events beyond the first books and episodes, so proceed with caution.
Hello and welcome back to Nostalgia Club. I am Michael, a podcast editor. I am joined by two other podcast editors, their names of which are as follows.
Jino.
And
Victoria.
They are both here, and they are also podcast editors, much like myself, a podcast edider. And today...
this is our podcast that we edited.
Poorly. And as fast as possible. No.
No, Jino does an excellent job. So does Victoria, and then I sit here and look good.
Michael is the face of the company.
You know, for the podcast.
Is there
Looking great.
Is there any greater, backhanded compliment than you are the face of this podcast?
I feel like that's a thing, though.
Oh, gosh, is it?
Like Griffin McElroy is the face of the McElroy brothers.
I suppose so. I suppose so. And Joe Rogan is the face of Joe Rogan.
Well, that's easy. There's only one of him.
I think the logo is literally his face anyway.
All right, I'm scrapping our logo. It's just going to be Michael's face now.
Just really close. Every episode it gets a little closer to your face.
Yeah. We got to get a really high-res photo of your face.
Oh, that's almost uncomfortable. Just
Yeah.
like my face and then the words Nostalgia Club.
I want to see every pore.
Anyways. Today, we're actually going back to our favorite series, the series that started it all, Warrior Cats, because we just couldn't get enough after our first episode of reading the first book. So this week we read the second and third book. The second book is called Fire and Ice, and the third one is called...
Forest of Secrets.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was like, it's Forest something.
Victoria, you have to know all of these titles verbatim.
I know.
All 89 of them.
But yeah, I think this will be a slightly different episode since we're probably not going to summarize the whole series since it sounds like we're just going to keep reading more Warrior Cats. So I don't want to spoil all of it for Michael. But Michael, how did you feel about the next two books in the series? I feel like we got some more lore. We really got to learn more about the characters' backstories. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, book 2 was good. It felt like a little bit of a holding pattern for a while because a fair amount of it is Fireheart going, maybe Tigerclaw isn't as bad as I thought. And then at the end, he's like, oh no, he's as bad as I thought. He watched me get almost murdered and just kind of seethed.
Yeah.
With dark satisfaction.
That is a lot of these books. It's a lot of Fireheart going, but maybe it's this. And the reader goes, no, Fireheart. It's not that. It's the opposite. But good try.
Yeah.
That's 40% of the book.
I will say, though, Fireheart knows a lot of people's secrets in these two books.
Especially in book 3, Forest of Secrets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
it's
honestly,
a forest of secrets, and Fireheart knows all of them.
Uh-huh. Book 3 really pops off. Things get kind of real in book 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Book 2 book 2 is a little bit of a bummer. Not for meta reasons, but just because things happen in book 2 that are
yeah.
oh, things are getting complicated. And it's just putting a strain on things. And then you learn a number of secrets in book 3, which are intriguing in their own right. And then a number of plot threads cap off or they progress significantly and a significant change happens in book 3.
Book 2 is a lot of planting and book 3 is the payoff.
Yeah. It might be a good idea to get a quick summary of the plots of these two books specifically out of the way. Just because even if someone is very well familiar with Warrior Cats, Victoria, Jino, mainly Victoria. Remembering, if you're just listening to this, out of the blue, it may be tough to remember exactly what happens within books 2 and 3.
Yes, I think I'm actually getting books 2 and 3 confused in my brain already, where I'm like, did that happen in book 2 or did that happen in book 3? But maybe we'll just summarize book 2 and 3 as one.
My biggest question, when does Cloud Kit enter the picture? Is that
Cloud
book
Kit
3?
Enters in book 2.
Book 2, okay.
That's another one of the basically plants that will pay off in book 3. Speaking of Cloud Kit, this kitten cannot listen to anyone. He's literally like, I'm going to go explore in the snow, even though I can literally barely get my legs over the snow. It's literally higher than me. No, we're going to go and we're going to hunt for the clan. I admire his enthusiasm, but man.
Such a troublemaker.
Yeah.
I have a number of cats that are on my, there are certain words I would like to use to describe my frustrations with a number of these cats. But this is, I suppose, a clean podcast. So I will just grit my teeth.
I'll meow out any errant curse words that slip through the gaps.
Well, I'll try to refrain to save work.
There's actually a lot of plants in books 2 and 3 for things that will happen further out, which I won't spoil. There are some cats that were introduced as apprentices in these 2 books, and knowing what happens to them, I was like, oh man, here we go.
Oh,
it's
boy.
happening.
Oh,
I'm thinking of one cat in particular, but for another day.
Okay.
Starting off, at the end of book 1, Fireheart becomes a full warrior. So luckily there's not too many name changing there, but there's a lot of other cats whose names change throughout the series, so good luck. Fireheart starts book 2, and he's a warrior. He and his best friend Greystripe are like, yeah, we're full-blown warriors now. So exciting.
They get dispatched
Well,
by
Yes.
Blue Star.
Before that,
Oh.
Fireheart goes to Blue Star because the whole thing in book 1 is that Tigerheart killed Redtail. Tigerclaw killed Redtail. Fireheart goes to Blue Star and says, hey, your deputy's a murderer. And Blue Star doesn't believe him because the implication is that Redtail would then also be a murderer.
Yeah,
Would have had to
and
kill
have broken the
Oakheart.
warrior code.
Yes, would have had to kill Oakheart, which we later learn is a sore spot for Blue Star. But not at this moment. So Fireheart has done the smart protagonist thing and gone straight to the top, and it didn't work. So got that out of the way.
And it's surprisingly mature because it doesn't blow up. Blue Star, as you've told me, is going to fall apart, and I see the elements of that as late as book 3, or as early as book 3, I suppose. But so far, she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she doesn't turn against Fireheart. She's like, maybe you just got your story wrong. Maybe what you were told wasn't what actually happened. Think back. Think of the details. Does anything not quite align? And then Fireheart is inadvertently, not maliciously, but kind of gaslit for the rest of book 2 into thinking maybe Tigerclaw isn't as bad as he thought.
Yeah.
Gaslight, gatekeep, Tiger boss.
Most of book 2 is Fireheart primarily, because Greystripe gets distracted later, trying to get the story and all the details figured out. First, Fireheart and Greystripe are dispatched to go find WindClan, who is driven out by ShadowClan in book 1. And at first, the other clans, RiverClan and ShadowClan, are like, hey, perfect, WindClan's gone. We can basically take over their territory. We're low on prey. They have lots of prey out there. So if they're gone, more for us, right? But Blue Star is like, no, there's 4 trees at 4 trees. And there's 4 clans, so it's supposed to be 4. That's the balance. So despite RiverClan and ShadowClan's opinions, Blue Star sends Fireheart and Greystripe to go rescue WindClan. It goes pretty well, actually. They find them next to basically like a highway, and they bring them back. They basically form an alliance with ThunderClan. WindClan is like, we're very grateful. We'll always remember what ThunderClan has done, blah, blah, blah.
Spoiler alert, they don't really remember for long.
Alliances don't last very long in this series.
I know. Later on in the series, the cats work together a little bit more, clan to clan, so it's kind of fun to go back and be like, wow, one second, these 2 clans are fighting, and the next second, these other 2 clans are fighting, for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's mainly Fireheart. Oh, he has like this internal debate where he meets his sister, who's a kitty pet. Her name is Princess, and he's like, I actually kind of miss having my family. Because that's the one thing he lacks in the clan, despite how much he loves being a forest cat, loves hunting, loves fighting for his clan, but he doesn't have blood relations with anyone in the clan. They also still very much look down on him for coming from outside the clan. So he finds his sister, and then he starts going to talk to her a lot, which I spent most of the second book being like, Tigerclaw is definitely going to figure out that you're going to the 2-leg place and
very
meet your
paranoid,
sister. Yeah. I was like, oh no, Fireheart. But actually that doesn't happen, so... Cool, because Tigerclaw is actually off doing his own thing and meeting up with some other bad cats.
All the main characters are just off doing their thing. They're all like suspicious of each other, but they're all too distracted by their own thing. They like investigate, so they're all just like...
Yeah, that's so true. But aside from that, Fireheart also goes and talks to Ravenpaw a lot. Ravenpaw comes back. Love Ravenpaw. Ravenpaw is doing great. Ravenpaw is living his best life. It's literally described as like when Ravenpaw lived in ThunderClan, he was thin and like his fur was matted. He wasn't very healthy. He was a very anxious cat, partially due to his mentor, Tigerclaw, basically being like verbally abusive and like manipulative. Now Ravenpaw lives on the farm with Barley. There's a lot of mice, very easy prey. He's gained weight. His fur is healthy. He's doing great.
And it's always warm, which is important because winter's coming.
Yeah. Fireheart goes to Ravenpaw and is like, listen, I believe you, but I just want to know the details because you told the clan something different. And like, I know Tigerclaw was manipulating you, but I just need to know exactly what happens. And it's revealed that Redtail did not kill Oakheart, but instead there was like a rock slide or something. Like Redtail did injure Oakheart, but not to the point where Oakheart would have died to those injuries. But then there happened to be an unfortunate rock slide that buried Oakheart, and Tigerclaw used that as an excuse to kill Redtail and blame the death on Oakheart. So Fireheart goes back to Blue Star and he's like, okay, this is what happened. She still doesn't believe him. Then he comes up with the idea like, oh, I can ask River Clan. Oakheart is from River Clan, so they would know how he died. They're the prime witnesses to back up Ravenpaw's story. And they're like an outside party, so they don't have a reason to lie about how Oakheart died. Meanwhile, the reason why Fireheart can talk to River Clan cats and get information is because Greystripe fell in love with a River Clan cat, and he's been seeing her secretly.
At the expense of everything else.
Yeah.
Literally. I said Greystripe was best character in book 1. Greystripe, come on!
Worst character in book 2.
Book 3 Greystripe, a little more sympathetic.
A little more sympathetic.
Book 2's Greystripe, your duties.
Honestly, I feel the worst for his apprentice because, at the beginning of book 2 or early on in book 2, both Fireheart and Greystripe are given apprentices. Fireheart gets Cinderpaw. Poor Cinderpaw.
Aww.
More on her later.
Greystripe gets Brackenpaw.
Yeah, but Greystripe is like the worst mentor because he's just off like going on dates with this cat. And every day his apprentice is like, Greystripe just told me to like stay back. He's going hunting or whatever. And Fireheart is like, I know Greystripe is not hunting.
Greystripe just told me to sit here and do data entry.
Yeah. Basically, like Greystripe just does the bare minimum to get Brackenpaw off his back.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the day just like goes off.
Fireheart essentially trains Brackenpaw himself.
Yeah.
Which is nice considering what happens to Cinderpaw.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Cinderpaw.
I know. Okay,
Cinderpaw's
so
great. She really wants to be a warrior. She's super
really
exuberant.
enthusiastic. She's like this cute little cat.
Full of energy.
Full of energy. At the beginning, because she's so over enthusiastic, doesn't listen well to Fireheart. And this unfortunately comes back to bite her because later on, I can't remember exactly why.
Tigerclaw sends word that he's found evidence of Shadow Clan cats in their territory near the Thunder Path.
Right.
And he sends word to get Blue Star out. But Blue Star is sick.
Right.
And can't make it.
A lot of the cats get sick in this book. It's just like the annual flu.
Yeah.
So Blue Star is too sick to go. Fireheart is like, okay, well, someone's got to tell Tigerclaw that Blue Star can't go. But then some other, like...
Well, he intends to go. Fireheart is
Yeah.
like, I forget, he's trying to go somewhere else to do something.
He needs to get catnip.
Oh, yeah, he needs to get catnip
Blue Star, who
for
is sick.
the
Yes.
sickness.
Fireheart was going to swing back and go to Tigerclaw himself. But Cinderpaw takes it into her own hands. Even after Fireheart told her, stay in the camp, she's exuberant. She goes, I'll just go tell Tigerclaw. And in the process, she ends up getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
In what is implied to be an assassination attempt on Blue Star.
Yeah.
Tigerclaw supposedly put his scent mark, his pee, I guess, too close to like a narrow area of like where the Thunder Path meets the forest. And it was an attempt to get Blue Star to get hit by a car and to lose a life.
Which, to be honest, I feel like it's more believable that Cinderpaw, with her lack of experience, would be more likely to be hit by a car. But Blue Star is a seasoned warrior.
Yeah.
I feel like she'd be a little more cautious when approaching the Thunder Path. But whatever, Tigerclaw.
Yeah.
I guess you got to take whatever chances you can get.
Tigerclaw makes quite a few assassination attempts on quite a few
true.
characters through these 2 books. And I think he's not going 100% on any of them because he doesn't want to be implicated if they go wrong.
Yeah, he has to make it sound like it's just a horrible accident.
Yeah. So the fact that they keep failing is not like because he's bad at assassinations, but because he's giving himself some wiggle room in case something happens and he has to like give himself an excuse.
Yeah, because it'd be very easy for him to just be like, Blue Star, come out with me into the woods, and then just like, like, you know, like...
Yeah, no one else would buy that.
Yeah.
So he needs to like set up these accidents, and they always have a chance of failure, and he knows that.
It's pretty fun to read, though, because it requires the writing to be like creative and a little strange. And you get dubious moments like the moment in book 3 where Fireheart has to like try and cross a river because Tigerclaw is sort of like inclining him to and pressuring him to. And there's like this weird social dynamic of, will Fireheart fall in the river? And the end of book 2 where Fireheart's in trouble and getting attacked and Tigerclaw just kind of watches. Those are fun like scenes. Those are fun like little moments compared to if it was like you said, Tigerclaw like, hey, Fireheart, join me in the woods. Okay, here we are in the woods. Now close your eyes. Close your eyes, stick out your neck.
I'm going to kill you now. Poor Cinderpaw gets hit by a car her leg... She survives, but she will never become a warrior, which is very heartbreaking because she was so excited. That's all she ever wanted to be, was a warrior. But... it's okay.
Yellowfang takes her
Yellowfang takes her in, and then around book 3, I think, Cinderpaw becomes Yellowfang's apprentice. And she's very excited because she feels like she's been given a new purpose. It wasn't what she expected or wanted for her life initially, but she just feels like she's being useful to the clan. I will admit, Cinderpaw is one of my favorite characters through the series. There's a lot that happens to her that I can't get into right now, but anyways, one of my favorite characters. Greystripe is off seeing this River Clan cat, so his poor apprentice is being left behind.
I really like Brackenpaw.
Yeah, Brackenpaw's great.
He takes things one step at a time. He's very assured.
He's like the opposite in terms of spontaneity as his sister, Cinderpaw.
He's very analytical.
He doesn't cause problems.
Yeah.
He causes 0 problems.
He's just pretty competent at most things.
Yeah, like, he's really chill. He's bummed out that Greystripe basically doesn't ever train him. But, like, if it were any other cat, they would have complained. But Brackenpaw was like, I guess I'll just do what my mentor told me to. Just like, I don't know, gather herbs or whatever.
And maybe that sounds unremarkable, but in these 2 books where there's like at least 3 cats that are just causing problems, sometimes just having one who's like, yeah, you want me to go deliver a message? Yeah, no problem. Or you want me to stay here and just kind of keep a watch on things? Yeah, okay. That's like, oh, thank goodness, I can rely on someone.
Yeah, Fireheart's like, oh my God. Fireheart basically takes on Brackenpaw as an apprentice, even though he's not officially. Then Shadow Clan and River Clan form an alliance, and they attack Wind Clan.
Before that.
Oh, okay.
Broken Star returns.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh, it's the big mid-act climax.
Here's the other thing. Again, like I reiterated in episode 1, so much happens in these books. So much happens in these 2 books alone.
It's very fast-paced. There is a conspiracy in ThunderClan and also in the other clans because they keep scenting Shadow Clan in their territory. And it's always the same 4 cats. And Tigerclaw is real amped up, like, we gotta go attack Shadow Clan, and it gets everyone else amped
Meanwhile,
up.
Shadow Clan is like, we're not in your territory, stop. You're just blaming us for things that we're not doing.
Yes, and then I think there's a distraction. Some cats are led away to go attack Shadow Clan as like revenge, and then Broken Star comes in with his rogues.
And then at that moment, Fireheart realizes it's not Shadow Clan, it's Broken Star and his ex-Shadow Clan members who are hunting in their territory.
Yellowfang kicks his ass.
Yes. Did I tell you last time that Yellowfang is Broken Star's mom?
I don't... no.
Okay.
So that was like something I discovered. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. But yeah, Yellowfang, that's another secret in the 3rd book, Forest of Secrets. She's like, I was Broken Star's mother, but as a medicine cat, I couldn't have kids. So I gave them away, and then 2 died, and then Broken Star survived. Broken Star, after he gets beaten, is renamed Broken Tail.
Yeah.
He's blinded and is unable to fight, apparently. We learn later that's wrong.
A side note, a lot of what these 2 books cover is basically like, book 1 is where you learn about the warrior code, and book 2 and 3 is like, hey, you know that warrior code that everyone loves to talk about? A lot of people actually don't stick to the warrior code, which actually...
I love it, though.
In the version of the book 3 that I got, there actually is the warrior code written out.
Whoa.
So I wanted to read all of the points of the warrior code.
Do it. I thought it was just like whatever the writers need.
Yeah, no. There's 15 points.
15?
There's 15 lines to this warrior code. Okay. So, number 1, defend your clan even with your life. You may have friendships with cats from other clans, but your loyalty must remain to your clan, as one day you may meet them in battle. So it's like, you can be friendly with other cats. You don't have to, like, constantly be enemies, but you will have to fight them at one point, which we learn in book 2.
And 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah, in every book after that. Number 2, do not hunt or trespass on another clan's territory. Number 3, elders and kits must be fed before apprentices and warriors. Unless they have permission, apprentices may not eat until they have hunted to feed the elders. Number 4, prey is killed only to be eaten. Give thanks to StarClan for its life. Number 5, a kit must be at least 6 moons old to become an apprentice.
You got to be 6 days old before you can join the military.
This is broken many times.
Yes.
By Blue Star.
Blue Star breaks it.
Blue Star breaks it.
Yeah.
After a whole thing
She's
about
like,
child
well,
soldiers.
he's like basically 6 moons old.
I love it, though. I love that they have these, like, high-minded, like, martial society, warrior code of ethics and honor. But at the end of the day, it's just like, we're in the woods.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever it takes.
We pee on things. We're cats.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
We lick each other.
Number 6, newly appointed warriors will keep a silent vigil for 1 night after receiving their warrior name. Number 7, a cat cannot be made deputy without having mentored at least 1 apprentice. Good thing Fireheart mentored some apprentices, I'm just saying.
Like 3 at that point.
Yeah. Number 8, the deputy will become clan leader when the leader dies or retires, which is the main reason why Tigerclaw is so intent on making Blue Star lose all of her lives. Which, like, I think it's good that Blue Star doesn't reveal to a lot of people that she only has 2 lives left.
Yeah.
Because Tigerclaw in his head is like, I gotta assassinate Blue Star like 4 more times.
Yeah.
That's the worst assassination job. Like, you
I
gotta
don't
kill
know.
this guy.
If I was Tigerclaw, I feel like the odds are stacked against you.
Well, that's like you said. That's why he's trying to do, like, real soft assassination attempts. So that
But even if Blue Star, like, gets into 4, like, major accidents within a short span of time, it's a little suspicious. Anyways.
I mean, look, book 1, lots of cats die.
Yeah. Number 9, after the death or retirement of the deputy, the new deputy must be chosen before moon high. Number 10, a gathering of all 4 cats is held at the full moon during a truce that lasts for the night. There shall be no fighting among clans at this time. Number 11, boundaries must be checked and marked daily. Challenge all trespassing cats. Number 12, no warrior may neglect a kit in pain or in danger, even if that kit is from a different clan. Good policy to have.
Good policy.
And then we have number 13, which is just, the word of the clan leader is the warrior code.
That is the most realistic one of all.
Yeah.
That's like the amendment that they made. This is our Articles of Confederation. You know what? We're just gonna change this. We're just gonna rewrite this Constitution now and throw in a little amendment. And guess what? Warrior code is whatever we say.
Yeah.
You must follow these rules, except me.
Yeah. Number 14, an honorable warrior does not need to kill other cats to win his battles unless they are outside the warrior code or it is necessary for self-defense. And then number 15, a warrior rejects the soft life of a kitty pet. Really important last one.
Wow. See, that one especially makes it sound like, you know, like when you're at a job and there's like a really like weird specific rule and you're like, why did this come about? It's because one person did something very weird and specific that caused a problem.
We have to add this specifically for Fireheart.
I feel like that was added after like a clan lost like 7 warriors all at once to being a kitty pet because all the warriors were like, this actually is not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually okay. And the clans were like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Like
we're going to lose everyone.
Yeah.
Like a patrol went by like an old grandma's house. She was like, I have chopped chicken livers. And the cats were like, huh? Yes.
Yeah. Where were we on the summary? Apprentices.
River Clan, Shadow Clan fight.
Yeah, so River Clan and Shadow Clan unite to attack Wind Clan because both of them, we learn, are not doing too great. Their prey is scarce.
River Clan's river's been poisoned.
Yeah, and also the prey has been scared away by dumb humans. And so they're like, we have no choice. We have to attack Wind Clan. So they attack Wind Clan. Wind Clan summons Thunder Clan for help. The Thunder Clan cats rush to their aid. And in the battle, obviously, Greystripe has been seeing this RiverClan cat, Silverstream. Fireheart, unfortunately, bumps into her in the battle, and she almost attacks him because she's just, like, in the heat of the battle. But then Greystripe is like, Silverstream, no! It's very dramatic, like, over the battlefield call. And then she's like, oh, no, I can't attack Fireheart. But then Fireheart is like, well, I'm still gonna attack you. But then he realizes, like, no, I can't hurt her, like... She's my best friend's girlfriend. This isn't right. But
don't you hate it when your best friend's girlfriend is on the other side of the battlefield and about to kill you?
But you can't attack her? Ugh, horrible. Tigerclaw sees Fireheart basically let Silverstream go and is like, suspicious.
This is also a soft assassination attempt on Fireheart during the battle.
Yeah, because then in the midst of the battle, Fireheart gets attacked by another cat. I can't remember if it's Shadow Clan or
Leopard Fur.
Oh, Leopard Fur.
Yeah!
The deputy of RiverClan. Fireheart manages to fight her off, but not before initially he's pinned down pretty bad, and he makes direct eye contact with Tigerclaw. And Tigerclaw just looks at him and is like, die.
He sticks out his little tongue in a blep and goes, later, skater. Honestly, I just love the idea of, like, these cats are, like, so imposing and described so intimidatingly sometimes, but I like the idea of just, like, they're not, like, wild cats, like, from the African savannah that have been, like, through evolution, wild cats. They're just house cats.
Yeah,
that are living in the woods.
Cats.
You could just pick one of these up.
Can you imagine, like, Tigerclaw is like, yeah, I'm Tigerclaw, and I'm big and mean and scary, and some human walks by and he's like, aw, kitty, and it picks him up.
He just picks him up and he's like,
you look like Garfield.
Yeah.
The greatest insults to any warrior.
That's like how the kids movie would end, where, like,
oh, that's so true.
a little girl in, like, a tutu, like, from a super rich family is like, I like this one, and, like, picks up Tigerclaw and, like, sticks him in a bonnet, and it's like the worst thing in the world for him because he's like, he sees himself as a big old warrior.
I can see this so clearly. This is the moment where Fireheart is like, Tigerclaw's real bad. Even if he doesn't have definitive proof of all the other things surrounding Redtail's death, he literally just watched Tigerclaw watched him almost die and did nothing to help. So in book 3, Fireheart is still on the investigative path. Most of book 3 is, like, mainly investigation, trying to get to the bottom of things. Can't remember what else happens in book 3.
Oh, so in book 2, when Broken-Tail attacks, because he is blinded and because of Yellowfang's familial connection to Broken-Tail, Blue Star agrees to show mercy and keep Broken-Tail as a prisoner.
Right.
And Swiftpaw, a ThunderClan apprentice, blabs to ShadowClan during a gathering, and WindClan, who were driven out of their territory by Broken-Tail, and ShadowClan, who
literally 2 days ago, they were fighting each other, and then they're like, no, Blue Star is harboring this, like, fugitive, and then they join together and attack ThunderClan.
Who Broken-Tail is, like, the worst cat currently in the forest, so
it's understandable. But at the same time, joining with the cats that you were warring with 2 days ago, I mean, I guess in history, people switched sides that quickly as well.
So quick.
Yeah, I guess, like,
honestly,
on
though,
WindClan's...
I'm pretty sure history is filled with instances of, like, you're fighting them and then they're like, hey, you're not going to win this. And then they're like, well, they're kind of right.
I guess it's the idea of, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
For WindClan, obviously, they really appreciate everything that ThunderClan did for them, but Broken-Tail was the one who drove them out and caused a lot of cats to pass away during their travels and whatnot.
Very euphemistic. He caused a lot of cats to not be alive anymore. He killed them.
No, but, like, also a lot of them, like, died during the journey. Like, they didn't survive the journey.
True.
That's what I meant. Obviously, a lot of cats also died in the fight, but a lot of them are sick, injured.
Collateral damage.
WindClan took a big hit from Broken Star's attack. So then there's that fight. And then, as if this book wasn't dramatic enough, remember Greystripe and Silverstream? They got pregnant.
And you'd think for a moment that after all of this, Greystripe and Silverstream would be like, ooh, this could get weird.
Mm-hmm.
This could turn to a problematic, like, custody battle. At the very least, how's this going to work? Even if it's like, you know, the cats just stay with RiverClan, is Greystripe going to have to, like, face them in battle at some point? But no, they're just like, this is great. And they like say it like
They're, like,
in
so
RiverClan
excited.
territory around RiverClan cats. Greystripe just turns to Fireheart and he's like, bro, guess what? My girlfriend's pregnant. And he's like in the Elder's Den of RiverClan or whatever.
Fireheart is like, you idiot. Like,
Meanwhile, Fireheart holding a complicated web of intrigue and enemies is like, oh, guys, come on.
You're not helping.
so to add on to the issues happening between clans, fortunately, Silverstream dies, which...
In childbirth or kitten
in childbirth, yeah. Which they don't say it very graphically, but it's, well, I don't know if
There's a lot of blood.
There's a lot of blood.
There's a lot of
basically,
blood.
the idea is like sunning rocks, which is like a prime place for cats to like lay in the sun. It's like covered in blood after the rocks are stained with blood after Silverstream.
It's bad time.
But Cinderpaw saves the kits.
Cinderpaw, this is her first moment of being like a medicine cat, really, but she's really down on herself because she's like, Silverstream died, I wasn't able to save her. And Yellowfang is like, dude, cats die all the time.
Did you read book 1? Come on, Cinderpaw.
But then there's this whole custody battle basically between RiverClan and ThunderClan where RiverClan is like, if Silverstream had lived, the kits would be ours, so you should give them to us. And Blue Star is like, but Greystripe is alive and he's their father, so they should be with their alive father.
And yet at the same time, there's like, I remember this specifically in the books, they say like most fathers don't have like a very strong connection with their kits or whatever.
Yeah, like queens don't even usually say who the father is.
Which is like interesting to think about. It's just like everyone's just having a good time with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tigerclaw has kits.
Yeah, Goldenflower is his mate.
When I learned that, I was
I don't
like...
think they specifically stated it. There's just like one moment where like Goldenflower's like, I'm having kits, and then Tigerclaw just like looks proud.
Yeah. I'm like...
I did that.
I think the idea, from what I
don't think
gather...
I don't think Tigerclaw would be a very generous lover.
From what I've gathered from all the other warrior books is like there are some actual relationships where cats will basically mate for life. I think they try to keep it kind of monogamous where like mostly
Main characters are
characters,
monogamous.
yeah.
Everyone else is free to do what they like.
Yeah, but then there is the idea of like, for example, it's revealed that Blue Star actually had kids and they're RiverClan cats because she had relationship with a cat from another clan. With Oakheart.
Who died in the beginning.
Who died.
Which adds so many layers to Fireheart telling her about Oakheart and Redtail.
Like I almost felt like I needed to go back to book 1 and reread when Blue Star learns that Oakheart died. It's also just kind of like, well, if you get pregnant, that's just your secret to tell.
But Blue Star understands, in a way, sympathizes with Silverstream and Greystripe.
Yeah, because she literally went through that.
Yeah, so she vows to try and make the correct choice this time instead of giving up her kits, which is why she fights so hard for Greystripe to keep the kits.
It's good writing.
But in the end, Greystripe decides to go with the kits to RiverClan.
Oh, this scene was so heartbreaking to read. At the end of book 3, Tigerclaw reveals his master plan, basically, and betrays Blue Star.
He leads a bunch of rogue cats into ThunderClan.
Yeah, he leads a bunch of rogue cats. He basically like frames it in a way like, oh, rogue cats are attacking the clan, and there's a good amount of them, so they're pretty powerful. So while the ThunderClan cats are distracted fighting, he sneaks into Blue Star's den, and his idea is that he'll kill her and blame it on the rogue cats. But luckily, Fireheart gets there in time, but Blue Star is completely and utterly like betrayed, shell-shocked. Your deputy is literally your right hand, and it's like if your right hand like slapped you across. This is like we foreshadowed for Michael in the last episode. This is the start of Blue Star's kind of mental decline where she realizes like, I can't even trust my own deputy. But after that, she actually names Fireheart her deputy.
Which is against, first of all, breaks clan tradition because after the time she's supposed to name the deputy.
Yeah, it takes her too long to name the deputy.
There is a long line of way more experienced warriors in front of Fireheart. So everyone is upset by this.
But I think
including
she chooses...
Fireheart. Yeah,
Fireheart was like, I don't think she would pick me. Meanwhile, Cloudpaw is like, yeah, Fireheart.
Cloudpaw, Fireheart's only supporter.
Yeah. Well, Cloudpaw is like Fireheart's nephew.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sandstorm.
Oh, and Sandstorm.
Tiny little plants in the beginning
Yeah.
of book 2. Fireheart saves Sandstorm's life while in a very similar situation, Grandpa accidentally throws a cat off a cliff.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
And the cat's name is White Claw. Also perishing in the battle are 4 Loco and 5 Hour Energy.
I forgot to mention this, but when Greystripe and Fireheart come back from bringing back the Wind Clan cats, they're like, oh, we're really tired. Let's just go through River Clan territory.
That floored
I was
me.
like, Fireheart, you're so stupid.
Like, here's the thing. Fireheart, he's got a good head on his shoulders. Pretty empathetic cat.
Yeah.
Tries to be diplomatic. Pretty shrewd individual most of the time. The boy's as dense as a box of rocks. Oh, Firepaw. Like, okay, it's one thing to be like, we've been walking all day rescuing Wind Clan. We're escorted by 2 Wind Clan cats to go back to our territory from Wind Clan territory. Maybe we just cut through River Clan territory, and they give, this is another thing I like about these books, whenever they're making a bad choice, they rationalize it with a lot of good decisions to make you believe, yeah, they would make this bad choice. Their rationalizations are, 1, we're super tired. Okay, that's not a great explanation. 2, this is a sanctioned mission by essentially the council at Four Trees, ignoring the fact that River Clan and Shadow Clan do not want to uphold it, even if they said they do. That's still like, okay, people know that this is what we're out here to do. If they sent us with the Wind Clan cats, they should know that that's the purpose. Number 3, we're going through an area that River Clan doesn't really go to in their territory because there's no prey around there. So it's not like we could be doing anything like stealing prey. Number 4, if they sent Wind Clan in the sort of boundary of their territory, maybe they'll realize Wind Clan is back and they won't be stealing prey from Wind Clan territory again. And it's like, hey, those are all decent rationalizations for a very bad decision.
Yeah.
I would almost be okay with it if it wasn't for the fact that that morning, like an hour, 2 hours before Fireheart pitches the idea of cutting through River Clan territory, the Wind Clan medicine cat looks up to the sky and says,
Oh, yeah.
there will be an unnecessary death
Right,
today.
we have to talk about all the Star Clan
And
Prophecies.
Fireheart is right next to him when he does this. And then, like, quickly the Wind Clan leader, Tall Star, is like, calm down, everyone. Any medicine cat could have seen those clouds. Any medicine cat could have gotten the same prophecy. It doesn't mean that it's us. But, like, the idea that you, from your very real, tangible religion, that your ancestors in cat star heaven would be like, hey, someone's gonna die today. And here's the thing, totally preventable death.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary. The idea that Fireheart would then an hour later be like, you know what? Today's a good day to risk it all. It's like, oh my gosh, dude.
It's like, if I was Fireheart and I got this ominous prophecy, I'd be like, okay, we gotta be really careful. Take no chances, okay? Anything can happen. During that fight, Sandstorm, who was Sandpaw at the time, almost fell off the cliff, but Fireheart saves her, and then she's suddenly like, oh, maybe you're not as bad as I thought. And then suddenly she's like, maybe I kind of like you.
But it's like, they don't play into it very much.
They don't
It's
make it very
subtle.
overt. It's like nice, subtle, like they're planting, like they're like, yes, eventually they're going to end up together. It's very obvious, but it's not like suddenly she's in love with him.
Yeah, they go
It's
from
very
acquaintances to like
Kind of friends
to just like friends.
Amicable,
Yeah.
But then like that, it doesn't progress past that in these books.
They like spending time together. There's a fun moment where Fireheart is like getting ready to, because he has a rift with Greystripe for a while, and so spends more time with Sandpaw, who eventually becomes Sandstorm.
Yeah.
And there's a moment, I think, where when Sandpaw becomes Sandstorm, he has like this habit at this point of like sharing a meal with Sandstorm, and then he realizes like, oh, she's like surrounded by other cats and she's going to be doing this vigil. Oh, I guess I don't get to like share a meal with her. Oh, well, that's kind of a bummer. And it's like, nah.
Oh, man. Anyway, back to my complicated web of plots and intrigue and deceptions and betrayals and assassinations.
Fireheart is named deputy at the end of book 3. I think just because Blue Star is like, there's no one else I can trust more than Fireheart. Because she thought she could trust Tigerclaw. What's to say there's not other warriors in the clan who also want to depose of her.
Fireheart also gets Cloud Paw.
Yeah, he
as
gets
an
Cloud
apprentice.
Paw as an apprentice. And then the very last scene, it's like very poetic, but it's heartbreakingly sad when Fireheart is saying like he's literally going into this new stage of his life as a warrior. He's becoming a deputy. It is a very lonely position. Even though he's still a warrior, being a deputy means you're like one step above everyone. So he was really hoping to have Greystripe, his best friend, by his side. And now Greystripe is going to RiverClan. And there's like a moment where Fireheart like reminisces and is like, we'll never get to share a meal together again. We'll never get to like...
No more hunting.
No more patrols together. Basically everything that he used to cherish spending time with his best friend doing, he can't do anymore because Greystripe is now going to be allied with RiverClan. So it's very sad.
Very sad. Although it's interesting because it's been like, I don't know, 6 months? But time moves fast.
Time moves fast when you're a cat.
Yeah.
Well, I guess slower for them, really. Especially when you take into account the fact that Fireheart, when he brought Cloudkit from his sister Princess back to the clan, the little guy couldn't even like say words.
Yeah.
He couldn't like see. He was just this mewling little like.
Yeah.
He,
and then now
couldn't
he's causing
form memories.
chaos.
Yeah, like a day later, he could walk around and say things
Problems.
and like have thoughts and like, I'm a ThunderClan kid. Yeah. I've always lived here and been here. And it's like, it's been 24 hours.
I'm going to break the rules and endanger the lives of my fellow kits.
Yeah.
Let's go dive into the snow.
So it's wild.
Oh my gosh.
There is one last thing I wanted to mention, which I think is very important, is that during Tigerclaw's coup, Broken Tail, who it turns out has been collaborating with Tigerclaw to bring these rogues in to stage this attack, attacks some of the cats, revealing that he's actually still capable of doing harm. Yellowtail poisons him.
Oh, yeah.
With these like nightshade berries. Like she brings him back. She's like,
Death
okay,
berries.
you're injured. We're going to keep you prisoner. And then just like subtly poisons him. And Fireheart just like watches the whole thing from afar like, oh.
There's also a plant of this because earlier Cloudkit almost eats some of these berries and Cinderpod's like, no, those are death berries. You'll die instantly. And then he's like, oh no, I almost died. And then Fireheart's like, good thing you were here, Cinderpod. And then that comes back later when he realizes, oh, Yellowfang is poisoning her son.
And there's a whole dramatic reveal where Yellowfang is like, you thought you had no kin, but I am your mother.
Now sleep.
Yeah.
And then Fireheart's just like, I didn't see anything. And Yellowfang is like, yes, he died.
Yellowfang is like, oh no, he died. It must have been his last life. Like,
and it's a real big arc for Yellowfang because in the second book, she's like, I can't kill Broken Tail. He's my son.
I think for Yellowfang, she was thinking this is Broken Tail's second chance. He's been brought down. He's not a warrior anymore. Maybe now he can at least live a slightly better life, you know, like not trying to actively hurt people. But then she realizes all along he's just been playing everyone. And she's like, no.
That was like one of the more heartbreaking things. There's lots of heartbreak.
Yeah.
One of the more heartbreaking
book.
things was like Fireheart watching, like before the coup, Yellowfang just kind of like, I mean, she's a mom. She knows she's a mom. She's like, this is my kid. And I can't help but love my kid, even though he's a terrorist. She's like sharing tongues with Broken Tail and like leading him to Sun on a Rock and just like saying nice things to him, just comforting things. And Fireheart can see that Broken Tail just isn't registering a single lick of it. He has like no sympathy in his eyes. He does not care.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, just right in the heart.
Yeah.
But he's dead now.
These books get so deep into the relationships. A slight spoiler, but later on, like Blue Star's kids are going to learn that she's actually their mother.
I would expect.
And then that's going to be a whole thing. Greystripe is off on his own journey now, so we'll see what happens with that.
I expect to start liking Greystripe more. Like, this sounds terrible, and this does not hold true in real life at all. But in book, in narrative, losing his love and being dispossessed of all he knew was the best thing that could ever happen to Greystripe's character. Because he was just awful
Yeah.
for all of book 2. Like,
Literally-
Fireheart, like, needed him multiple times
Yeah.
and was, like, setting boundaries. Like, I need you here, like, because things are going way out of control
Yeah.
and people are getting hurt. My apprentice got hurt. And Greystripe's like, you can't make me not see my girlfriend. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
oh
god.
my gosh.
There's literally a scene where they've just had a big climactic battle and everyone's wounded and bleeding, and then Greystripe walks in with some birds, like, what happened? What'd I miss? And they're like,
and it happens so
"Greystripe,
many times.
where were you? And he's like, I was out hunting. What did I miss?
And Fireheart's like about to strangle him because he's like, you weren't out hunting.
And you know when it gets real bad, because at first Fireheart is like furious with him and angry, and he tries to convince Silverstream to not see him anymore, and then finally he's like, I don't care anymore. Greystripe can do whatever the hell he wants. I want nothing to do with him anymore. And that's when you're like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
He's not trying anymore.
I think Fireheart is like, he's pretty reasonable throughout Greystripe's whole romantic escapades. He's like, okay, fine, I can't stop you from seeing her, but can you please just like try to maintain
Think
some
of
sort
others.
of like appearances so that Tigerclaw doesn't just kill the both of us because he thinks we're disloyal.
Yeah. Even Blue Star gets directly involved. Like, hey, I noticed you guys are fighting. We can't have that.
Yeah, Blue Star notices you haven't eaten with Greystripe in a while. You guys used to be literally connected at the hip and did everything together. What's happening? Whatever happened between you two, just fix it.
Yeah. And Fireheart's like, hey, Greystripe, like, can we talk? And Greystripe's like, no. Man.
Greystripe says like, oh, you're just doing this because Blue Star told you to, and you're just sucking up to Blue Star. And I was like, dude.
Just every... There's like not an inch of room, not a single foothold that Fireheart can get into repairing things with Greystripe, and Greystripe is just routinely breaking boundaries.
At the end of the book, Greystripe's like, I don't think anyone in ThunderClan likes me, and Fireheart's like, yeah. Yeah. Like he doesn't say it, but like in his thought monologue, he's like, yeah, there's nothing, I mean, I can't say that's wrong, so I'm just going to stay silent because like,
yeah,
it's true.
Like the gossip wheel must just be like...
Ooh.
The gossip wheel is strong in the class, in the cats. Tigerclaw weaponizes the gossip wheel multiple times to great effect.
There was a moment when Tigerclaw's getting gloriously ousted and Fireheart gets to have his moment where he's like, Tigerclaw did this, and Tigerclaw did this, and Tigerclaw did this, and he's doing this, and he's a real poop. He's a real bad boy. He's a naughty little boy. He's a naughty little fuzzy boy. Remember, these are house cats. Tigerclaw's having his moment where he's like, Blue Star, you weak leader. Diplomacy and peace with cats. I was going to make ThunderClan great. And I half expected him to say great again.
Yeah.
I like,
oh no.
I was like, oh, that's where the sentence ends. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get like a little lore drop where he is like, I was going to bring back the days of Tigerclan. And I'm like, Tigerclan? What's this?
Me clan.
Again, this just puts Michael's point about these are just house cats. It just makes it even funnier because Tigerclaw's like, yes, we are going to return to the days of Tigerclan. And he's like just like this small little house cat.
Now that we know that they're in Britain and we know absolutely that there were no tigers, there were no lions. What are you guys talking about?
Should we be picturing all of these cats with British accents?
Yes.
Oh my
100%.
I was going to bring back the days of Tigerclan. That's not remotely it.
I was going to bring back the days of Tigerclan.
Oh no.
Ishmoon High in it.
So we're gonna ostracize all the British listeners.
They know what they've done.
I'm actually curious, Michael. What do you think's gonna happen next?
Oh, gosh. That's the thing about these books. And I like it, but every chapter, these cats come up with a plan, both for long-term and short-term issues. And within the chapter, the plan changes. Like, it's just constant. So I don't freaking know. I mean, you've told me a few things. There's going to be dogs. Blue Star's going to sacrifice herself. Told me that the cats eventually have to move. Originally, I thought, for whatever reason, I interpreted that as like book 2, the cats have to move. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. They have this whole environment.
Yeah.
At least we get more out of it. And you've told me about Scourge loosely. I'm pretty sure that's
I think it's the end of this series.
Like the very last book. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like big bad stuff.
Yeah.
But there are plants even of the cats having to move in the next series because
Yeah, because there's talking about like humans are starting to make the prey really scarce.
Yeah, like this area is turning into a camp. There's construction monsters or, construction
Cars.
equipment.
I will say a lot of these books feel like they do have arcs for the characters within them, and they do have like climactic moments, typically a battle of some sort. But a lot of the time, it just kind of feels like things are happening, and the books begin and end at a certain point within what is just an overall larger historical narrative for these cats. And honestly, it feels like, I don't know, this is just an impression I get. Books 1 through 8 or whatever are more or less like the entire story, and the books are kind of standalone, but really probably serve more as like a historical like annal in like whole chunks of series.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of day-to-day.
Yeah.
Victoria, you and I were talking about this, where it's like some chapters are like, Fire goes out and he just he walks around, hey, look, a vole, and he catches a vole. And then like the next chapter is like, Fireheart takes a Cloud Kid out, and they're walking around. He's showing him how to creep. He's showing him the territory. Oh, River Clan's attacking. It's a war. And it's just like instant.
Things can change real fast when you're a forest cat, you know?
Oh, yeah. Life comes at you fast. When you're a cute little kitty in your forest, martial aristocracy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Woo-woo.
If I was Fireheart and I got this ominous prophecy, I'd be like, okay, we gotta be really careful.
Fireheart gets a lot of these prophecies, too, in dreams through Spotted Leaf,
His medicine cat crush.
who died in
His
book 1.
His ghost crush.
His ghost crush.
He's like, it's
Ooh.
like basically implied throughout the entire series that Fireheart has always just had this massive crush on Spotted Leaf.
It's not really set up at all. It's just like,
It's just he happens to, in book 1, it's just like every time he encounters Spotted Leaf, he's like, wow, she's a real nice cat.
He does get his revenge, though. He kills the cat Clawface.
Yeah.
does he or did someone else? I
No,
thought
he
someone
kills.
else.
Oh, no.
Is it Greystripe?
Greystripe kills him.
Greystripe kills Clawface. And Greystripe's like, what have I done?
And then
Fireheart's
Fire's like,
yo,
it's fine, dude. He killed Spotted Leaf.
that was, yeah, like,
He was a
He's like-
real
That was
meanie.
good.
He was a real naughty boy. He was a bad kitty. He killed another kitty in cold blood and abducted children.
Michael,
What
please.
a bad boy.
Michael, please. Yeah, but Spotted Leaf does. I can't. I gotta imagine Spotted Leaf is so tired of Fireheart. She's like, "Hey, Fireheart, in a dream, beware a traitor to your clan." And Fireheart's like, "Greystripe? Is it Greystripe?"
Is it
But it's
No,
Greystripe?
like,
she
Because
Gino.
there's a
specifically says, beware a cat you,
You
cannot
cannot
trust.
trust.
And I was like, obviously
Yeah.
it's Tigerclaw. Why would you think it's Greystripe? So as much as we rag on Greystripe
Yeah.
in this episode, Fireheart's not the
Fireheart's
brightest.
not making it easy.
And then Fireheart inches from death. Oh,
That's what
That
Spotted
makes
Leaf
sense.
meant.
You know what? Maybe Ravenpaw was right, and Tigerclaw is a Machiavellian murderous monster. Don't know why I just kind of dismissed that for the last
Yeah.
few weeks.
Spotted Leaf is up in StarClan just being like, okay, I will admit sometimes the StarClan prophecies are very vague, but that time it was abundantly clear what she meant, you know?
Also, I laughed out loud for this because it's literally what Jino described in our first episode for Warrior Cats, in the first episode for this podcast, is the prophecy that Spotted Leaf tells him, fire will save the clan. And Jino, I remember going like, okay, Fireheart, because Fireheart can't like deduce it out. At the beginning of book 2, he gets a dream of like a bunch of cats in front of a fire, and he's seeing Wind Clan cats like in front of a human-made bonfire because that's the direction they're going. And he thinks to himself, oh, fire will save the clan. Could these cats be somehow tied to the fire that will save the clan? And I'm like, you know what? You got to keep your mind open, fair. But literally, the moment, like the line after that line is Fireheart. It's Tigerclaw waking up Fireheart with his name.
Yeah.
And just saying, Fireheart. And Fireheart wakes up like, oh, wow, what a weird dream.
it could be anyone.
It could be anyone.
Whoa.
And then, like, he gets another prophecy that's like, be careful, Fireheart. water can quench fire. And it's like, okay, it's a little more vague. Maybe it's something having to do with River Clan, because like water. Or maybe it's the giant stream that is getting much bigger than it should be. And Fireheart, maybe you shouldn't go out onto that branch because Tigerclaw, who distinctly wants you dead, is like, hey, Fireheart, go out onto that branch and see if you can cross that stream. Be careful, Fireheart. Water can quench... Oh, you're in the river. Well,
Firehearts, be careful. You might drown today. Drown.
In emotion?
I must be drowning in my worries.
Brown? Brown? Who's a brown cat? Cat? Greystripe?
Greystripe? I have to worry about Greystripe?
Greystripe.
Stop seeing your girlfriend, Greystripe.
Spotted Leaf's like, how? What?
Oh yeah, there's also like at the end of book 3 where he gets the prophecy like Star Clan is calling you and he's like, I'm gonna die.
To be fair, that one's a little like
Yeah.
like heaven is calling you, like, I guess I'm gonna die.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, great. I mean, we're being a little unfair because if Fireheart was any more astute, he'd figure it all out and there would go the quote-unquote supposed mystery.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. The writers are clever enough. We know this from example that even if Fireheart deduces that he's part of a prophecy, they can still make it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how will he save the clan?
Yeah. Also, I just got to point out, total non sequitur. Greystripe, after he falls in the river and is rescued by Silverstream, and thus their relationship begins, illicit and romantic.
Shakespearean.
And sexual. Probably mostly that.
Fireheart, I'm having kids. Fireheart's like, oh. Gotcha.
But the beginning of that relationship, Greystripe, from falling in the river, comes down with like a cold, like the same sickness that I guess a lot of cats do. And because they're cats, it's not like he's able to like put it on ice in any way. He just has like snot coming from his nose. Like he's just visibly
Yeah,
sick.
they can't blow their noses.
Yeah.
So from the beginning of his like relationship with Silverstream, Greystripe is just like, hey. Like, can you imagine going on a first date and you're just like, hey, no, it's fine. I just
That's how
have
you know it was real love.
What do you like to do? Parasailing? Yeah, I like having vitamin C and going to sleep.
What did Silverstream see in Greystripe at all?
Silverstream, like...
A body. I mean...
See, like, it's understandable on Greystripe's side because, like, Silverstream is not only she's a really pretty cat, and she saved him from drowning.
Also, she's the daughter of Crooked Star.
Yeah, she's, like,
leader of
basically, like, a
There's,
princess.
Like, yeah, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, secret
She's
affair.
like the Princess Leia of River Clan, okay?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Greystripe is, like, just a dude.
He's a little funny, I guess.
Yeah.
It counts for something. But
Not
also,
anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. He's just depressed now.
Greystripe's personality arc is like, yeah, I'm like upbeat and I'm helping my friend and we're funny, and then like, now I'm kind of an asshole and now I'm sad.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see where he goes from the pits of despair.
Oh, he's going to River Clan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he goes.
That's where... Yeehaw! Can't wait for all these cats to get traumatized beyond repair. Oh,
Woo.
boy.
I mean, they can be repaired. They have a medicine cat.
That's true.
For now.
These medicine
But
cats
even their
are
medicine
magic
cat is
powers.
traumatized.
Both of their medicine
Both
cats
of their medicine
are
cats
traumatized.
are traumatized.
I am Princess giving her little cloud kit to Fireheart. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't trust the guy who's all in on this martial society to give you a fair account of what it's like. I mean, I know they're cats. I've said they're aliens. Their values are different, so we can believe it.
Even so, Princess says, Fireheart, you look so thin. Are you eating? And Fireheart goes, no, we're starving.
It's real bad.
It's real bad. And Princess is like, wow. The clans, the warrior clans. 9 lives for my son.
It must just run in their family.
I guess, or something.
This isn't really a big spoiler, but Cloudpaw is one of the few atheists in the Warrior Cat series.
Oh.
He's going to become one of the non-Star Clan believers.
Which
in
plays
the
a big
series.
part in future books.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even though he was brought to the clans as like a very young kid, I don't know, it's kind of interesting how like he was basically a baby when he was brought there. So I don't know why he would grow up and have like complete disregard for the warrior code, but I don't know. It's the nature versus the nurture thing.
His personality, though, is very much like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah. Challenge everything. Ask lots of questions.
And yet he's always high on his, like, I love being a warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I broke the warrior code. I feel bad. Bro, you are the 10th person today.
They do make a point that like he never really gets punished because his punishment is to care for the elders, and the elders love him.
Oh yeah, the elders are like, oh my god, Cloud Kit, you're so cute.
So he's basically just his punishment is to go get pampered by a bunch of old cats who like love telling him stories that he like loves to hear, and he never faces consequences for his actions, and that will come to bite him in the tail.
Ooh.
I think. I don't remember.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of here for it because he was a little stinker. He needs to face some repercussions. Another cat on my no good bad boy list is Dustpaw, specifically in book 2, because every single line like that Dustpaw says. Dustpaw used to be buddy with Sandpaw before Sandpaw was like, actually Fireheart's okay, and Dustpaw is like just kind of a jerk.
Dustpaw is like, what happened to my bully friend? Like, we used to bully Fireheart together, and now she doesn't anymore. I'm so
Every
confused.
single line that Dustpaw says in book 2 is just chiming in on a conversation he wasn't a part of regarding that Fireheart is somehow involved in, and going, yeah, I guess, for a kitty pet. And it's like, dude, you have one joke, and it's not even funny.
I imagine him shouting it from across the clan, just like, yeah, and Fireheart's stupid. And they're like, what? We're not even talking about that. And he's like, yeah, stupid. Sandpaw, please come back.
Sandpaw, I love you.
Oh my gosh, I need to like
being
find
a
out
jerk
what
is not
happens.
a personality.
I need to find out what happens to him.
Because when Tigerclaw betrays the clan, his deputies, his inner circle, they all back away from him for various reasons. And Dustpaw, he goes to Dustpaw, or Dustpelt at this point. I can't remember Dustpelt's reason for like not following.
I think he was just
I
like...
think it's just cowardice.
Oh no, it's because Redtail used to be his mentor.
Oh,
yeah, so Tigerclaw
real
literally
good.
killed his mentor. Dustpelt was like, nah, man.
Well, I'm excited to see how Dustpelt and Longtail and these other cats that were like, if anything, just kind of aligning with Tigerclaw more because he was a deputy and he didn't really like Fireheart, how they'll change, what camp they'll eventually fall into, if they'll get better about not being jerks, or if they'll eventually be like, you know what, I'm gonna join Tigerclaw on whatever weird stuff he's gonna do.
Is it okay if I spoil a little bit?
Yeah, go.
So basically, Dustpelt, he kind of just chills out. Like he just lives life after this whole thing.
Hey, you know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
He didn't have a whole lot to offer.
Yeah, he has kids. He has a mate. He mentors one of Fireheart's kids. So that's kind of like a fun, like,
yeah.
It's like back in the day, I used to bully your father. But he did also mentor Ashfur, which I have a lot to say about this cat.
Oh.
I will not reveal, but listener, if you know who Ashfur is, he's a real asshole.
He's a real ashhole.
He's a real asshole, yeah, like really.
I will say in response to the rest of the cats, because I don't remember exactly, so it's not really a spoiler, but Fireheart does attempt some shrewd political maneuvering to convince the cats that don't like him that he's a good leader or that he's a good deputy. He starts to like make a circle of like advisors that he pulls from and like says, hey, like, I know you don't like me and I don't like you, but you know more than me and I'm going to understand and respect that and I need your advice. And he pulls that, and I don't think it works on everyone. So I think that's where it's heading. But again, I don't think it works on everyone. And I can't remember exactly. We're going to have to read and find out.
Yeah.
I guess then stay tuned for our next eventual Warrior Cats episode.
Because there's so many books, we just gotta hit them all. This is just becoming a Warrior Cats podcast.
Are we going to do like I guess it's more logarithmic, exponential, not exponential. Is it logarithmic? Basically, our next episode is 3 Warrior Cats books, and it's 4.
The only problem is there's so much ground to cover with 3 books. So much can happen. I think maybe what we might do is maybe we'll read the rest of the series and then just like
cover it all.
Because otherwise, this is going to take us a while. There's going to be so many episodes just us going through Warrior Cats books one by one. Catch us next week for another fun book or movie series that we're going to cover. And I don't know what to sign off on this time. Catch us next week for another episode. And in the meantime,
In the meantime, start illicit affairs with the hold on. And until next time, start illicit affairs with the progeny of the leaders of rival nation states. There's a better thing than that. Gino, what you got?
Yeah.
What do I got? I don't have anything. Until next time, don't eat the death berries because
You'll die.
you'll die.
Oh.
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 Until next time, don't give your son away to a crazy man who lives in the woods and worships the sky gods. And he's clearly starving. Don't just give your child away to him. Doesn't matter if he's your brother. Not a good idea. And he keeps running into your garden and stealing your catnip.
Yeah, it's a bad sign.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, that's drugs. That's your drugs.
It's literally... Yeah, oh, it's medicinal. All
It's
right.
medicinal.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nostalgia Club. If you enjoyed this episode, follow us on Twitter @_Nostalgia Club and on Instagram @Nostalgia Club Podcast. Leave a comment, give us a rating, and subscribe. You can also send us an email with your suggestions for what we should review next at nostalgiaclubpodcast@gmail.com. I'm actually nervous. It's harder when it's not the three of us.
Hey, Jino.
Oh, hey, Casey, it's Michael, actually, on Gino's phone.
Hi, Michael on Gino's phone.
I definitely didn't steal it, and I'm definitely not crossing state lines. I'm kidding. I was just wondering, do you remember that book that I told you about a while ago, Warrior Cats?
Yes. Is there a sequel?
At least one. At least one sequel, possibly up to like 100. I was just wondering, do you remember anything about it? You know, Fireheart, the flame-colored cat who joins ThunderClan, and, the whole warrior clan life in the woods. You remember that vaguely?
Sure.
Are you interested in hearing about books 2 and 3 in the series?
Absolutely.
That just warms my heart because I'd love to tell you about them. So in book 2, Fireheart and Greystripe, his best friend, go to find the ousted Wind Clan who was ousted from their territory. They do, and bring them back, but tensions rise between Thunder Clan, Fireheart's clan, and River Clan and Shadow Clan. Fireheart and Greystripe get apprentices, but Greystripe starts an illicit affair with the daughter of the River Clan leader, Silverstream. Things get real bad. Tigerclaw, the treacherous deputy of ThunderClan, is still causing problems and trying to assassinate Bluestar, the leader. And things eventually spiral out of control enough to the point where Silverstream, who has Greystripe's kids, dies in childbirth, and the kids get taken to RiverClan. Greystripe joins them, but Tigerclaw attempts a coup to kill Bluestar and take over the clan, but he fails. And Fireheart ousts him and is made deputy in his place. Lots of other cats are born, get maimed, get injured, but life goes on and things get a lot more complicated and difficult.
That was a really good summary.
So something happens in childbirth, but obviously it's cats. Wouldn't there be a litter? Wouldn't there be other cats too?
They survive. The kittens survive.
One of the cats doesn't survive?
The one that was giving birth.
Oh, so the litter remains, but not the mother.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Okay, because if that doesn't make sense, then none of it makes sense.
Sure. Anyway, stay tuned for the future when I maybe summarize like 5 other books to you all in a minute for Warrior Cats. But that's all I got.
That was perfect.
Thank you for joining us on Nostalgia Club. Have a wonderful day.
It's me, Tiger.
It's me,
Boy.
Tigerclaw. Fireheart, I don't like you very much. The key to winning a battle is just to get real stuck in and kill some other cats.
Stuck in. Let's get stuck in the battle,
Just get-
lad.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
get stuck in the battle. This is real bad.